Thank you for listening to Dr. Mary Travel Best's 5 Steps to Solo Travel Guide. We've got about 320 episodes so far, and if you like to travel, keep listening. We're helping women find travel memories. That's right. So share this episode and give some feedback. Here's the FAQ. Should I use public transportation while abroad? The episode, Sun Moon Lake, Taiwan. The lesson learned, don't schedule everything for day one. And the travel tip, trust your gut instincts. If unsure, pivot fast. So here's the question you asked, should I use public transportation abroad? And my quick answer is yes, you should try it at the very least, but not in rush hour with all of your luggage. So you could test it out if you want to try it on an early morning before rush hour workers get in and while it's still light. Now, most times when you're using public transportation, you just need a card to swipe and you can add money on the card when you need to. Your first card purchase is often at a self-service kiosk, and usually there's an English translation nearby. So go for it and see how you do. And now your episode is going to be about Sun Moon Lake, Taiwan. This is a very special destination. I went there to Taiwan for my 3rd time in March 2025, and this destination reminded me of Lake Tahoe, California. If you haven't been there, it's beautiful. So I arrived in the Taoyuan airport and then took the train to the Taipei Main Station and then took the HSR train to Taichung City. So that train ride is about an hour. It's a nice train. Then you take a bus to Sun Moon Lake, which comes in about hourly. So the total cost to get there is only about $25, and it takes altogether about 3 hours. And if you drove, it would still take you about 2.5 hours. So you'd save some money, but I totally would go with the train. So once you get there, where do you stay? Well, there's lots of hotels and resorts and Airbnbs and such. I had a room at the Harbor Resort, but it wasn't ready when I arrived, so I walked around the lake. There are luxury comfort hotels with thermal spas. I've heard they're even in your room. Many of those have lakeside views, which we did, and there's a wellness focus. You can also find a mid-range or solo-friendly, like the Crystal Resort. It's walking distance. And then there's also some budget hotels, and these could be wooden lodge-like. So I'm going to talk about a few things that you could do on your itinerary if you go to Sun Moon Lake. So the first thing you want to do is take a walk around the Shou Isi Pier area, or Shu Isi. You can see that it's pretty flat and pretty peaceful. And then for dinner, you might want to go to a local fish or mountain restaurant. Lots of restaurants all around, so you won't find a shortage of them. You can also catch a nice sunset from Wenwu Temple stairs, or go out and see the tea at the Sun Moon Lake Antique Assam Tea Farm. Do you notice a theme here? Tea. So the next day you might want to go biking. You could rent an e-bike or a mountain bike, whichever you want, and ride the lake cycle route. It's voted one of the top cycling paths globally. And you can stop at plenty of places along the way. There's a pagoda, a visitor center. There's a Meihi garden. I found a really nice place for lunch. Delicious lunch. Lots of matcha. It was good. And the full loop, if you take this on the bike, is about 29 kilometers, or a half loop if you want to. Now, there are some places where you need to dismount and walk your bike. And some days you might not be able to go fully around the lake, so ask. So you can also take the cable car. It's the Sun Moon Lake Ropeway, and it takes you to the Formosan Aboriginal Culture Village. And you can also learn about the Thao, it's spelled Thao, and other cultural groups, and walk around the gardens. And you can take the cable car down, or you can take a ferry. You can also think about your hotel's onsen-style hot springs and the Lalu Moon Pavilion restaurant. So the next morning, you might want to hike the Maolan Mountain Trail or Sen Pagoda Trail. They've got some nice forest immersion there. They're pretty moderate trails. And then there's another temple you might want to visit, the Guanzhang. It's got Buddhist relics. And then for night, you might want to, again, check out the area around the harbor or the night market. And there's a boat cruise at dusk you might want to do. The next morning, when you get up, make sure you have a little tea and maybe even a walk in the forest trail. So what you've been hearing about Sun Moon Lake is that it's a safe destination for solo female travelers. English signage is plentiful. Locals are helpful. And I used Google Translate and Plico, and also the Line app for texting. It was clean. Public bathrooms were there. Tap water, though, I wouldn't drink, so use filtered water. But overall, Sun Moon Lake is a great destination when you first get to Taiwan. I enjoyed it. And now let's talk about some lessons learned. Don't schedule everything on day one. Leave several ideas for another day. Don't pick everything in. Don't try to get it all done right away. I tried to do that in Paris. It did not work. I did return, and I enjoyed that visit much more. Imagine you'll be back if you like that destination. And now a travel tip. Trust your gut instincts. So if you're unsure, pivot fast. If you walk in a restaurant, store, or even your hotel and it doesn't look right, you can trust that your gut has some sense. Consider a pivot to plan B. Be safe, not sorry. I want to bring peace to the world and meaning to your future travel. So if you want to connect with me, there's a whole lot of ways to do that. All you have to do is look in the app and you'll see a review would be great. Thank you so much.
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travel Best, that is.